the world's poorest country, Yemen. Yemen, which since September 2014 has been plagued by a civil war. Yemen, the country experiencing cruel warfare since the Houthis took control of the Yemeni capital Sana'a and ousted the elected government. Yemen has been visited by a coalition of Arab states going to war against the Houthis. The leaders of that rebellious group seem to threaten Saudi Arabia, so they've been bombing the country. Now, the Security Council is hearing how the war is taking its toll and how malnutrition is edging towards starvation. Let's go to the stakeout where Olaf Skog, the ambassador from Sweden, president of the Security Council for the month of January, will report on deliberations today about Yemen.
So, good afternoon, or maybe we're into the evening already. We have discussed the situation in Yemen this afternoon, and members of the Council were updated on the critical humanitarian situation in Yemen, including widespread and acute malnutrition on the verge of famine. Members have called on all parties to allow safe, rapid and unhindered access for humanitarian supplies and to facilitate access for essential imports of food, fuel and medical supplies into the country and throughout. Member states also have called for allowing access to journalists to report on the situation. Member states have expressed serious concern at the devastating humanitarian impact of the conflict on the Yemeni people and the risk that if it continues to that it will continue to deteriorate in the absence of a peace agreement. Members of the Council called on all parties, therefore, to the conflict to renew their commitment to a cessation of hostilities and to engage constructively with the De-escalation and Coordination Committee. Finally, the members emphasized their strongest support for the UN Special Envoy Ismail Sheikh Ahmed and called upon the parties to work with him to develop a comprehensive agreement leading to a negotiated political solution to the conflict in Yemen.
Was there any discussion of possible violations of international human rights law by the Saudi-led coalition's bombings? They were on the Children in Armed Conflict list and they were taken off. There's a lot of interest in this. I'm just wondering if in the consultation there was any discussion of that issue.
Not really. Well, you've heard the open debate, but the focus has really been on the political process, the cessation of hostilities, and the humanitarian situation in the entire country with all its problems by all sides.
Mr. Ambassador, the special envoy talked about the difficulties in getting both sides, but especially the internationally recognized government, to even discuss the proposals that he's put forward for peace. Did you come away after the consultations with any feeling that there's hope in the next few months that there actually might be some kind of progress toward a peace agreement?
You know, I'm a born optimist, and I think you have to be in this job. So I tend to believe that if the Security Council expresses itself in such strong support for the envoy and for his efforts, I hope that the parties will really move forward now based on the proposals that he's putting on the table. So, well, I just hope so, but I know that this has been such hopes in the past and that they have not come to reality or been realized. So I just, well, I just hope that this, you know, that we've reached a point now when the tide will turn in favor of a political solution.
Did you get any sense of the time frame for the risk of famine? I know that Mr. O'Brien said 17, but it's only January.
Well, you know, we have had our own missions on the ground for humanitarian purposes, and the facts are there already. There are children, and many of them, who are already severely suffering from malnutrition. So that reality is there already, but I think you'll just have to ask or look into what Mr. O'Brien was saying in terms of all the numbers, etc., because I don't have them in my mind right now. All right, thank you very much.
So, according to Ambassador Skog, food, access for journalists, and concern about the deteriorating situation as the civil war that's been plaguing poor Yemen since September 2014 continues. For ICASTnews.com, live and direct from United Nations headquarters in New York City, for At the Stakeout, I'm Jonathan Sanders.